Welcome back to Never Done Ask with me, John Martin, and we have another station review. This time we are either on the West Coast Main Line or on the cross-country route between Derby and Birmingham. Either way, we're in the West Midlands, in Staffordshire, and at Tamworth for a split-level station. Tamworth, the town, has two lobes, a northwest lobe and a southeastern one, split by the rivers Tame and Anker. Tamworth Station sits on the eastern edge of the northwestern lobe. The station is reached off a roundabout from the A513, Victoria Road. The station is on two levels. The low level is on the Trent Valley loop of the West Coast Main Line. Here there are two fast tracks in the middle and two slow tracks to either side. The slow tracks have side platforms. Platform 1 is northbound, the next station being Lichfield Trent Valley, 6.25 miles away. Platform 2 is southbound, Polesworth being 3.51 miles away, and leads to the question, when am I going to visit Polesworth? A station with only one train a day, that is silly o'clock in the morning. It's going to lead to the answer of, John, you're going to have to get a bus from Tamworth, which means I'm going to have to come back to Tamworth at some point. Listen on if you wonder if I'm looking forward to going back to Tamworth. The high level platform is on the Derby to Birmingham line. Here there are only two tracks and two side platforms. Platform 3 is towards Derby, Burton-on-Trent is the next station, 13 miles away, and 4 is towards Birmingham, and Wilnecote is just under 2 miles away. The first station here was opened up by the Birmingham and Derby Junction Railway on the 12th of August 1839. Surveyed by George Stephenson and engineered by Robert Stephenson, the railway's aim was to link the North Midland Railway at Derby with London via Birmingham. One of the line's backers was Robert Peel, the MP for Tamworth. With the opening of the Midlands Counties Railway, there was a quicker route to London, and a whole pile of dirty tricks ensued. With dirty tricks came the Railway King, George Hudson, who managed to get the three companies to merge into the Midland Railway. The line through Tamworth was no longer the quickest route to London, but became part of the Midland Main Line from Derby to Bristol. 1st of December 1847 saw the opening of the lower level station. The Trent Valley Railway was built by Thomas Brassey and Partners and engineered by, amongst others, Robert Stephenson. It was built to bypass Birmingham and allow a shorter, faster route between London and Scotland to the northwest. The first sod was cut by Robert Peel in November 1845. In the next 2 years, the line got bought out by the London and Birmingham Railway, which became part of the Midland Railway's arch rivals, the London and North Western. Yes, the proto-London and North Western saw anybody who wasn't them as arch rivals, but they really hated the Midland. Still, there's a station here now, and it was a very useful stop, especially for mail transfer. In the 1950s, 2,000 bags of mail a night were transferred here. There were cords built linking the two lines, but they no longer remain. On the Trent Valley lines, the platforms were originally built on loop lines off the main express track. Parts of the Trent Valley lines were built up to be quad lines in the latter third of the 19th century. However, Tamworth to Armitage near Rugby was only made quad track in the 1990s. In the 1960s, the old station was demolished and a new station in the functional style was built, and that's what we have now. Helpfully, the site I'm using for platform lengths has decided not to number them. Instead, it calls 2 platforms up and 2 down, which is a level of unhelpful that I am forced to pass on to you. The first pair of platforms it lists as both being 245 metres long. The next pair it says are 292 for the down and 321 metres for the up. The upper level platforms were a curve, so they should be different, but they're not much of a curve. And I felt the West Coast platforms were longer. Leave a comment if you know the truth, or a conspiracy theory of why the data won't tell me the platform numbers. There is a lift and stairs from platform 1 to both the high level platforms, and there are stairs from platform 2 to both the high level platforms, but there's only a lift from platform 2 to the Birmingham bound high level platform. So if you want step-free access to platform 2 from the entrance, you need to go via the Birmingham bound platform. If you want step-free access from platform 2 to the Derby platform, you have to get the lift up to the Birmingham platform, go along that, get the lift down, go to platform 1, walk along platform 1 a bit, then get the lift up, and then you're on the Derby bound platform. Whew. The Department of Transport class this as a C2 category. That is an important feeder station. In fact, this is one of Wikipedia's exemplars for a C2 category station. The station is managed by North Western Railways, despite the top level platforms not being served by them. Marks for services 6 out of 10. The high level platforms see services from cross-country trains. These are generally 2 an hour in each direction. Heading north, these run through Derby, then on to Nottingham or Sheffield, then York, Newcastle, Edinburgh. Heading south, the trains hit Birmingham, and then some extend to places like Cardiff and Plymouth. Derby is 22 minutes away, Nottingham is 50 minutes, Sheffield 56, York's around 2 hours, 3 hours to Newcastle, Edinburgh 4.5. Birmingham is 20 minutes away, Bristol is around 2 hours away, Cardiff 2 hours 25, and Plymouth is 4 hours away. On the low level platforms, there is an hourly service between Crewe and Euston run by London North Western. This is a regional service that calls to Stafford, then the Trent Valley stations, Rugby, Milton Keynes, then fast to London. Lichfield is 6 minutes away, and Nuneaton is 15 minutes away. Avanti has some stopping trains, generally between London and Holyhead or Liverpool. London is 70 minutes away on the Avanti, Crewe is 40. Holyhead is just under 3 hours, Liverpool is 80 minutes away. The most popular destination is Birmingham New Street, followed by London Euston, Burton-on-Trent, Derby and Nottingham. Tamworth is the most popular destination from Polesworth. Avanti trains don't stop every hour. There are generally 5 trains a day in each direction. This leads to Tamworth actually having more services in the middle of the day and on Saturday mornings than at peak times. We have between 6 and 10 off-peak services per hour. From the 2023-2024 figures, Tamworth had 1,030,316 entrances and exits. This comes out at 2,823 passengers a day. With 751 services a week, it comes out at just over 26 1/3 passengers per train. Passenger numbers were increasing steadily before COVID, and post-COVID, while the numbers are rising again, the passenger figures are similar to those from 10 years ago. Marks for onward travel, 2 out of 5. The station is served by the 2 bus, which runs in a circle around Ventura Park, then through Tamworth Town Centre and a circle around Perry Crofts. The 20 runs from Tamworth to Mercia Park near Appleby Magna. The 65 runs from Nuneaton through Atherton, Dordon, Polesworth to Tamworth. The 66 runs from Dordon through Polesworth to Tamworth Town Centre. The 785 and 786 run in circles through Newton Regis, Ostry and Wotton. The NMA runs from the station to the National Memorial Arboretum. Hands up in the comments who knew we had one of those. Marks for accessibility, 8 out of 10. The station is very accessible. It's staffed, it has announcements, has dot matrix displays, and it has a braille guide. I have some issues with it. The first is that the high level platforms are very narrow for a line with fast trains going through. The other is the lack of a direct lift from the London bound platform to the Derby bound platform. Having to go via every other platform is very inconvenient. There are also no accessible parking spaces. Marks for station facilities, 5 out of 10. All the platforms have some form of waiting area, and they're mostly enclosed. The London bound lacks that. The station building is in the crew bound platform and hosts ticket offices and refreshments. There are 313 car parking spaces, but according to the National Rail site, none are accessible. There is cycle storage available as well. Marks for care and character, 3 out of 20. London North Western do a reasonable job of keeping the station clean and tidy, and there is some artwork lighting up the drabness of the surroundings. However well cared for this place is, I can't compensate for the supreme lack of character this station has. It seems like Maurice Weiler, E.G. Girdlestone and J.B. Saunders, the architects in charge of the 1961 rebuild, had an idea, stuck something temporary in place while they got it sorted, and Jeff left this placeholder station. It's functional, but only just. They said the high-level platforms are too narrow. Cross-country voyagers come through here at high speed. It just doesn't feel safe. The high-level platforms themselves are just in a concrete intimidation zone. You have just a few feet between concrete walls lining the platform and the track. The only things to break up the walls are the basic stairwells to the lower level platforms or the concrete box buildings. On the low level, it's more open. The fast trains rattle by at higher speeds, but they will be in the middle, and it's only stoppers and slower freights that will pass close to platforms. There are bits of artwork to reduce the soul-destroying nature of the platform walls. Past the northbound platform, the station car park seems to be made of the same metal construction as B&Q serving units. The station building has a corrugated metal look that adds to the impermanence of the site. As if they knew something was better on the way. But something should have been on the way for over 60 years, and it still hasn't gotten here. What do you think of this station? Leave a comment below. Marks for nearby things, 4 out of 10. We aren't in the town centre, but we aren't too far away. But there isn't that much around the station. We do have a statue of Ethelfled, the Lady of Mercia, on the roundabout by the station, as an important reminder to any Vikings wanting to invade past the West Coast main line. Overall, this station gets 28 out of 65, which is 43%. It's very much function over form. For the most part, it does its job, but the high-level platforms verge on dangerous with trains passing by at speed. For anyone who talks about the romance of rail travel with misty eyes, they should take a visit here. It has all the romance of a Steven Seagal movie, with Steven Seagal commentary on it. Although it's more pleasant to spend 90 minutes here than watching a Steven Seagal movie. Thanks once again for watching this as I travel around the country. Please like, subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of the next station review.